Welcome back everyone, I'm the Depressed Dior and this is Cultist Simulator. So, the thing that's really stalling me, is the fact that we don't have a way to get to the Peacock store. We need a particular item to do that, and I haven't found it yet. Part of the reason why we have these silver spintrias is in preparation for the Peacock store, and we are not getting anywhere with that. This is the first time I've ever had to rely heavily on the spider's door. I usually don't go through it because it's too much of a pain to get prisoners usually. Alright, keep doing your thing, guy. Just always do that in the wrong order. Alright, we know where to go. We just need to get lucky at this point. In fact, let's make sure we have what we need. That has to be I don't think a summon works with that. Let's find out. It does work. Okay. So we can do influence with a with King Crucible and the invocation, and that'll bring me up to 37. Good news is, since we always have this relies on money for Ascension, we have our Ascension already prepared. I had to wait until the last minute to start upgrading my Ascension when I was doing Sensation before, so that's kind of nice. Also, I don't know what happened with power, but for Sensation, if you don't have what you need, you will temporarily have to exhaust another resource like Passion. I think you guys have seen pretty much all the mercenaries you can hire. The only one I think you guys haven't seen is the Bomb Maker, who's Forge and Edge. So the Mallory is where we need to go. And the man says the hour... Oh, wow, we just got Unresolved Ambiguity. Sweet. I think it's a bug, the fact that the other route only gets you a rank 6. Last night in the Mantis I visited the Mallory, from whose hammers and crucibles one does not emerge unchanged, and for 9 beats my heart ceased while it entered the fires of the forge, and the passions of the forge entered into it. I woke with the dawn, and its poor divided colors inspired memories of the forge's passion for the sun, of the vagabond's curse, of the grail's deep longing, so many half memories. Alright, so we can work with that. We got something out of that at least. It's not what I was looking for, but it's something. Alright, so we're gonna have to fiddle with a few things, unfortunately. So another hapless prisoner, that's fine. I'm gonna let this go for a bit because I need to temporarily occupy Keen Crucible for a little bit. Also, I have an affliction anyway, so let's fix that. Alright, back to the Rending Mountains. Alright, looks like the weary detective was actually unsuccessful, so we're safe for the moment. Mausoleum of Wolves. This chilly monument was built long before Rome fell. Stone wolves watched the door. A chamber within was carved from rock to await fragments of the sun at its prophesied funeral procession. That procession never came, but still the dead are drawn here. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and explore yet another location. Just to get that out of the way. And get that started. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and take a look at the spider's door, just in case. Get that taken care of. And also, while all that's going on, we got some books to translate, so let's translate that book we have. It's not going to get us much, but it's something. Got it. We got what we needed. The Eye of Ikermawi. We have read of a sultan who 800 years ago could sleep only beneath the stars. He ordered the construction of this observatory so that the stars could be accurately depicted on the ceiling of his bedchamber. Regrettably, the stars they saw were not safe for the unprotected human mind. The Sultan's successor ordered the observatory sealed. Alright, now the location. A pity we don't need it. What's the thought that counts? Saint Tryphon, nearly explained, performed secret miracles in the name of She Who Bleeds and Bears and She Who Opens. Thus Saint Tryphon opened the way to the House of the Sun. Thus Saint Tryphon underwent the great birth and ascension to immortality. There's still plenty more to explore, like I mentioned. There's higher and higher tiers of expeditions you go on. There's literally the Peacock's Door. Originally, when I played this, I thought there would be a little bit more variety as far as victory conditions. I'm sure they're probably going to expand things. Like for example, the temporary headquarters. There's not much you can do about it besides imprison your own people, and it makes it sound like we really should upgrade because it's literally just a temporary headquarters. But if you bought the game before its official release, you get something called the like the Persistent Edition or something like that, and essentially that allows you to get all updates and DLCs for free. So I'm hoping they will expand this game a little bit further and see what we can mess around with. I'm still going to play a bunch of this because I actually kind of want to do all the achievements just simply to get more opportunities to read up on this stuff. I'm not sure I'll be recording all of it, but we'll see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this game a little bit. I'm saying this as if I've already won, but let's find out if we've won. Now, something that could be really inconvenient that happens is, like, just before I did this, like, if Ascension power got yanked away, I would not be able to do the ritual. So, 36 degree. 15. 27. 37. The conflagration of the heart. I have been in the flames so many times, the plates of my flesh grate one against another. I conjure now the heat of the forge, which will sear from me what I was. I will die as I pass the Chicusabid gate. But death is not the end. I will be immortal, a long favored of the Forge. There it is, and this timer's in gold. And that's it. Unless I somehow die before that timer finishes, or go in, or some other end, this is victory. So let's read one more book. The Rose of Nuriel. Saint Tryphon began his ascension by passing the horned door. He continued it by learning the invocation Theactic, which Nuriel does not hear record on account of its extreme holiness. And Nuriel explained grimly, to achieve the 7 marks of great birth, Saint Tryphon consumed both those whose soul had left him and even those whose the soul had remained. So that probably means he went the sensation path, because that requires you to literally go after people and bodies. Hey, finally some Nock lore, and also Grail lore, which that also confirms. So yeah, he definitely went Grail. All right. This might get a little bit loud. I did adjust the volume through Windows, so hopefully that'll fix it. But just brace yourself. If this timer runs out, it might get a bit loud. So I got an achievement out of that. It was like hairless or something. The conflagration of the heart. For a little while, I dwell in the high rooms of the mantis, and then I return through the tricuspid gate, and my body stirs in the ashes. I am hairless and imperishable as marble. The forge's fire still burns within me. I carry the shaping strength. I will not grow old. Perhaps I will rebel. Perhaps one day I will rise even higher. Congratulations on a standard power victory. You have wrestled the game to its knees. There are other paths. And we'll go to the main menu. So yeah, that's as an aspirant. As you can tell, the aspirant has an extremely slow start, because literally you start with practically nothing. You start with 1 in all your stats essentially, and get about 10 funding, and that's about it. Generally, the idea is aspirant is the first one you do, and then you actually, do some other stuff. I have beaten the game with Bright Young Thing. You start with an additional health. You also get you start with a temporary job that gets you 2 coins for literally no effort. But the main thing is you get you very easily can get 20 funding just from inheritance and some really early events. So literally the start of it is just me just buying and auctioning stuff and just making a bunch of getting a lot of books really early on. The real struggle for this playthrough was just the fact that, part of the reason I did Aspirant was just to show what your first run would probably look like. Assuming you knew stuff ahead of time. If you didn't know stuff ahead of time, you would not make it as far as this. You would probably die, and when you die, you would get some options that will give you some better starts. But yeah, as of recording this, Shadowhawk who's another YouTuber. He's currently doing Physician, and the Physician starts with an insane amount of reason, and he gets this job which, as far as I can tell, is infinite, and it gives you 2 funding, and it doesn't require anything. It's actually pretty amazing, because essentially with 2 funding, you can pay your rent and essentially buy a book pretty much every day, which is, yeah, essentially you can pay your rent, buy a book, read a book, and just keep that cycle going on and on until you have to go to the auctions instead. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for right now. I don't know if I'll record another run or not. I've done Sensation, I've done Power. The only one I haven't done is Enlightenment. I don't know if there's any other victory requirements. Originally, I thought there was a book victory requirement involving like I originally thought that the Ascension and the stuff involving dreaming of the mantis, like going through the gates and stuff, were separate. But from what I can tell, it's literally together. And yeah, essentially this is all kind of all linked together. You kind of have to do everything in this game. You have to get, one of the key things, of course, is you need money. You have to get books because books are the only way you're going to get lore. The only lore you can get without books is through the mantis, and that only provides you with histories. And histories, all that does is literally get you more locations to go on expeditions for. And as you can probably tell, expeditions, I mean, if you don't know the numbers that you need to actually progress, expeditions could be a kind of a money sink and a time waster. You can also lose people. There's also, I mean, I don't think we hit the point where we actually ran out of people, but there's a finite number of, just like there's a finite number of investigators before it just goes generic, there's a finite number of cultists, or possible cultist recruits. And unlike the investigators that just keep coming, cultists do not. You'll get like some weird person and you can't recruit them. That's pretty much what will end up happening. And they'll disappear after like a few seconds, which means you can very easily reach a situation where you'll run out of people. But for the most part, if you're powerful enough, you don't actually need the cult, which is a bit weird. I know it's called Cultist Simulator, but your cult is, I mean, it helps you kind of in the beginning, and it kind of helps, shore up some loose ends, especially some of the bigger expeditions. But summons tend to take care of quite a bit in most situations. But yeah, I guess that's it. I'm probably gonna have to cut this video short, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I mean, there's still more places to explore. There's an item that you need to get through the final gate of the mantis, and that item has to be repaired. And to repair it, you need Spintria, and that's why I spent all that time gathering, just stocking up on Spintria, and then in the very end, I ended up not needing it. Of course, if I got through that gate, it would be I could potentially get the stuff I needed a lot easier, because I would be, as you've noticed, each gate that you go higher on the up the mountain essentially provides higher and higher tiers of stuff. We had a bunch of books that we didn't read, unfortunately. There were two languages that I picked up a language I'd never picked up before in this playthrough, which was the deep speak, or whatever it's called. But the other two languages I ended up never picking up. I know one of them you can get. I think you have to get it. You get it from that final gate area, I think. And then the other one, I have no idea where you're supposed to learn it from. Because as far as I know, I've seen all the summon rituals. Obviously, two of them can teach you languages. I learned both of them from the Zeme and King Crucible. But yeah, I don't think there are any others. Unless I, of course, just missed something. So yeah, this game's all about kind of not knowing stuff. So obviously, me playing it not blind does take away a little bit from it. But at the same time, it allowed me to kind of focus purely on just reading the lore and kind of just presenting that stuff. That's part of the reason why I did this Let's Play, is just so it forced me to slow down and just kind of read stuff. Obviously, in the beginning, I tried to present the information as I found it, per se. That's why I put a lot of emphasis on the symbols, because the symbols are really what kind of guide you and tell you what you need to know. If you read those, the game kind of falls into place pretty well. I mean, there's a few things, obviously, that were a little unclear, like the infused corpse rituals. Like, I didn't know how those actually are supposed to work. I didn't know you're supposed to add an actual body to the ritual itself, because that's usually not how it works. So that was something I ended up finding out now just through experimentation. The game expects you to lose multiple times. I lost the first time, mainly because I was just experimenting with, like, making paintings and stuff. The second time I technically didn't lose, but essentially I gave up. Was what happened. I ended up putting passion in that one slot that ends the game, and kind of just gave up on being a cultist. Then the third run I finally won, and then the fourth run was this run here. But yeah, honestly, this is a good game. It's really simple. The layout, the UI is nothing special. The music's, I guess, pretty zen, I suppose. I do like the lore around it. It's kind of interesting. I hope they expand more of it so I can, find more stuff about it. Obviously, if you have the option, don't do Aspirant. After you, once you do Aspirant, like, it's the idea is the Aspirant's supposed to lose, and then once the Aspirant loses, you kind of learn information about your, like, this says legacy. It's kind of like what's that one game called? Rogue Legacy, where if you die, like an ancestor will find out about you or something like that. It's kind of like that, but not necessarily hereditary. It could be situations where, like, for example, the physician, one of your patients could very well be the previous character who went insane. And I think for Bright Young Thing, there was like some notes I found that literally had the previous character's name listed over and over again. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, once you starting with these other characters, you can experiment a lot more. Aspirants, you're pretty limited because, like, a lot of time was just spent trying to make money, and it's kind of difficult to do when you literally have nothing to start with. I think that's about it. I'll think about whether or not I want to do another one as a Let's Play. I'm probably gonna still play another run just on my own. So, yeah, I guess that's it. Sorry for all the rambling. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know some people prefer Let's Plays where I do a lot of reading. I don't know why, because honestly I hate the sound of my own voice. But especially when I have a hiss in my voice that I can clearly hear right now. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I am The Depressed Hero. This was Cultist Simulator. See you guys later.